Alright, well, welcome back once again to Let's Play Edge of Space Beta with Birdoggydog. I'm Birdoggydog, and let's get kicking. So, you'll notice, once we get in here, that I lost some progress. So apparently, after the last video, I didn't log out properly. I was trying to get some things onto YouTube, and got a little distracted, so there's some new torches here, because what I did is I just went ahead and redid all that stuff so you didn't have to sit through it. Rebuilt the doors, that basic kind of thing. I think, and I wish I knew how to make this tutorial not popping up, because that's sort of a nuisance, that I have enough resources to do a couple things. You'll see, like, we've got a brickload of uranium here, we've got some biomass, we have a little bit of titanium stored up, some rock, a lot of aluminum. So what I think we're going to try and do is get an armor set, see if we can't build up some resistance to the elements, and see if we can't sort of defend ourselves from exposure enough that we can explore a little further downward. I'm hoping that what the devs have done here is that they've made it so that escaping beyond sort of your initial spawn point requires some basic gear, and that the exposure is the mechanism by which they've sort of enforced that rule. I have no reason to actually think that's the case other than my own sort of logic on, you know, the way game development works, which is completely invalidated and not really something I would base anything off of. You know, if you're a game developer and you're thinking, well, let's look for gamers who know stuff that we can, you know, listen to, I'm probably not the guy you want to do that with. That said, this is the working theory I'm operating on. You know, again, continuing my tradition of not reading any of the dev notes or otherwise preparing myself for what's actually happening in-game. I haven't really validated any of my claims, you know, nor am I going to. I just don't care. We need to gather some more aluminum, we need to gather some more titanium in order to properly build up the armor. We're really going to need rather significant quantities of both of those resources. So I think that's what we're going to work on for the next probably episode, potentially two. We just want to get, I think we want to get helix grade armor for all of the relevant things. With that in mind, we're obviously going to need some torches, so keeping that sort of fundamental aspect of things in our heads, I can never frickin' remember where anything is. Utility, plasma torch. Raw mineral, we need a bunch of dirt, and we need some jelly goo, which we only have 6 of, so I think we can make 6 more torches. Yep, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to throw some dirt into there as casings. Yet again, you know, just continuing on this theme of dirt being basically the best thing ever invented. Dirt is the best thing ever invented. You know, this really shouldn't be a surprise, I guess, to any of you that have followed along here. Dirt is BAMF. You know, I'm not sure how many more Let's Plays of the current build I'm going to do. You know, this is a beta, right? So we have to bear in mind that things change, and apparently what they've done is purposefully disabled. I've done a little bit of sort of, you know, information gathering on the state of the game, so that moving forward, you know, I have a little bit of knowledge so that I'm not wasting a ton of time. And from what I can gather, the current build is basically intended to be sort of non-functional. I don't actually know that that's the case, but that's what it appears to me based off my playthrough. Like I said, we're definitely gonna put the time in to build the armor. Hope that that builds up our exposure resistance enough that we can get to a lower area. Oh, there's that horrific sound effect again. And try and hope that that lets us explore a little further in this. But I'm beginning to become suspicious. You know, we're about, what, 2 hours, I think, maybe a little bit more into this gameplay-wise, and I've been proactive, you know, been definitely attempting, at the very least, to build and explore the possibilities of the game, collect materials, go south, and I can't help really but feel like there's not a lot here at the moment. Now, whether that's because they've disabled certain functionality, or that's because there's just not much here, I can't really tell you. My suspicion is that it's mostly because they've disabled functionality just based off of the other Let's Plays that I've looked at. But, you know, my opinion on the sort of current state of the game is that we're probably... I think we're dealing with a build where they're intentionally... Oh, there I go, dying from exposure again. So, yeah. We're currently dealing with a build where what you're going to get out of it is probably less than you're going to get out of the full game. I mean, obviously we're in a beta. That's definitely going to be true anyway. But I think there are previous builds, at least from the YouTube videos that I've seen and the Let's Plays I've witnessed, that indicate that there's more going on here than what's currently going on. You know, just the simple fact, you saw that in the last video, I think I pointed out that pressure plates have been disabled, which I'm actually kind of confused about. I don't know, you know, what off the top of my head about the power system that I've seen it play in previous videos was broken, that they felt that pressure plates had to be disabled. You know, I don't know if they thought they were too overpowered. You know, I have no idea what their approach to that is, but why they disabled them during this step of the beta is kind of a mystery. You know, so I guess, and that points to a point about the game I think that is interesting, right? So you have two sort of aspects of a game at this scale of development, right? You've got the actual game itself, and as far as a beta game goes, I would say Edge of Space is looking pretty good. It's got a lot going for it. It's pretty, it plays smoothly, the physics are nice, the crafting system, you know, for all of the other sort of gripes that I've put forward about it in previous videos, really sort of stands up to scrutiny in terms of depth and content. That said, the area right now where the game's really suffering is that the community representation is a little weak. So, you know, people are going to make Starbound comparisons, and if you want to do that, you can go look at the Starbound forums and see how their community operates and how their devs work and all that. I'm actually not going to make that comparison because, you know, and as the Edge of Space devs point out in some posts, the Starbound community is a much larger development team, and so I don't really feel like it's fair to make that comparison. What I am going to do is point at another very small dev team. So the Starbound devs, as far as I know, are maybe 4, maybe 5 people. There's 2 core programmers, there's a GUI guy, or a UI guy, there's sort of a graphics designer, and then I think there's a sort of general scripting kind of person. And you know, those descriptions are obviously, you know, my own sort of very rough memory of the situation, so by all means validate that yourself, go ahead and ask questions about it, but it's a smaller team, point being, whereas the Starbound team really has about 15, 16 people. Instead, I'm going to make the comparison to another very small development team, which is that of Dwarf Fortress. And some of you have watched a couple videos will know, you know, I'm a Dwarf Fortress nerd, and I love Dwarf Fortress. The reasons I love Dwarf Fortress, though, are actually, I think, very good. One, they have an extremely robust community interaction program. So they put out, if not daily, at least very near daily dev diaries. They put out, they have a very, very specific, well, maybe specific's not right, a very comprehensive roadmap for development. It's going to take them a long time to do because implementing the things they're discussing are very complicated. But nevertheless, the feature list is very evident. The progress that's being made is represented day to day. I mean, literally every single day they put up, today we did X, and if it's boring, well, they tell you anyway. It's not to excite you, it's to let you know what's happening. The thing that they're not doing for this game, and which makes knowing what to expect with it kind of difficult, is they're not doing that. I at least have not seen a dev diary. I have not seen a roadmap. I've seen feature lists, and I've seen discussions on the forums about what they're sort of hoping to accomplish with this game. But I have not seen a really in-depth discussion about, what exactly they're trying to accomplish. I've seen sort of general statements, survival versus exploration, right? They want it to be a more struggle against nature kind of thing. Well, that's good, but what does that actually mean? That's something I haven't seen much of. And if there's a link to that content, please provide it to me. I'd love to see it. The other thing, though, that really would be good to see is the today we did X. And that is something, I, as much as I hate to do this, I'm going to bring up Starbound right now, that the Starbound devs are doing. They're saying today, today we focused on boss building. And what that means is that we did a bunch of scripting for them, we got them into place, we spent a lot of time on the design of bosses and how they work. And then the next day will be like, well, today was mostly about making the quest box show up when you complete a quest. And then it'll be, and I understand, from a developer side, right, I do software development, so I get it, right? We use ticket tracking where I work, and it's a pain in the ass. You have to make the tickets, you have to actually think about what you're doing, you have to really represent that in a discrete format. It takes some time, it's kind of a nuisance, it annoys you because it distracts you from the work you're actually trying to accomplish. All of those things, though, when you're doing a sort of pre-release, alpha, or beta access like you're doing here, become really important. And that's not happening with this game. I want to make it clear, I'm doing a Let's Play of it. I like it. I'm enjoying myself. But that single facet is missing, and as a beta buyer, I am a little disappointed. I would have expected more of that sort of thing. Again, Dwarf Fortress. Now, admittedly, Dwarf Fortress is sort of an obsessive-compulsive project. From things I've read about Zach and Tarn Adams, it's pretty obvious that there's a certain caliber of that which they're just not able to stop. There's a certain level after which they would be doing it anyway. Whereas I'm not entirely sure with this game that were there not some money rolling in, that development would be continuing. That's not to say that it wouldn't be. I'm not an expert on this game. Again, you've seen most of the playtime I've put into it on these videos, but you've got this issue here where you're not seeing it, and I've seen a lot of conversations requesting it, and it hasn't shown up. I've seen at least 3 or 4 individual topics in the forums, and then I've seen probably on top of that a number of posts in other topics regarding that specific issue, and it just hasn't shown up. There's just never been there is no dev diary thread, and to me that's a disappointment. So you see right now, moving back to the actual gameplay here, we're just sort of collecting aluminum. It looks like we're at, I can check here, 46 aluminum. I think we're going to want to get into the 60s or 70s range for aluminum before we really start looking at armors, because that'll allow us to build 2, possibly 3, but I think 2 pieces. If I recall, they generally require about 30 each of the aluminum. We're going to have to look into what the other resources required are. It's hard to tell exactly. Well, no, it's not hard to tell what the resources are. They pretty clearly state that. I was about to move back into this other discussion. I guess I'll go back, right? So, You know, we're harvesting aluminum. This is all good. We're about 2 hours in, though, and I would say this is a fairly aggressive playthrough, right? Like, I've been actively exploring, leaping off of cliffs, trying to harvest resources, you know, pretty, I'd say, consistently trying to explore beyond what is comfortable for the character given his gear. And the only enemy I've seen that's not this sort of these glow sticks is the robot. And the only mineral that I've seen, well, I haven't actually really seen a new mineral since the first video. And to me, that's a sign of, you know, maybe this is just a build issue. Maybe this build's not really meant to be played. That's very much a possibility. I don't really understand what the build's going for at the moment. So, which kind of leads me to, I think what we're going to do at the moment, you know, once things expand a little bit and they start to get their heads around what the next phase of things is, I think we're going to go ahead and come back to this. But I think I may move on to another Let's Play to try and develop some more content for the channel. I'm thinking I'll probably do either a classic game or maybe a Skyrim Let's Play. You know, it just sort of depends on how I feel like. You know, feedback right now is sort of limited as to what's actually gonna, you know, request. So we're in a situation where I can kind of decide. I might actually do an XCOM Let's Play because I love XCOM, and it's a you know, not the new XCOM but the original, and it's a classic game, really worth a good look at. Speaking of XCOM, there's actually a new sort of open XCOM that's coming out or is out. I think they're at V9 right now, which is full featured. I don't know what remains to be put into place, but they claim it's completely playable and up to snuff, which is a tall order. In my opinion, the original XCOM is one of the best games ever created. I put it in the top 10 without a doubt. You know, I don't know what else I would necessarily put in that list. I would say Dwarf Fortress is in there. Probably Morrowind is in there, just because of the sense that it gave. For all of my love of Skyrim, I'm not really convinced it's greatest game ever caliber. I know it's made it into the top of a number of people's lists, and I can see, I suppose, why there's such sort of fans of it. But I think there are things that have accomplished greater tone. And to me, the tone of Skyrim is where it falls apart. You know, sure, it's got all this depth, sure, it's got all this longevity, and I can't disagree on those points, but it loses to, in my opinion, Bastion when it comes to tone. You know, and Bastion's a great game, so it's no shame to lose to that, but in my opinion, the Skyrim sort of lacks personality. I've modded it as hard as I can, and even modded to about, you know, with 150, 160 mods, that game is still, to me, sort of lacking any coherency and tone. Now, you might argue, oh, well, you modded it, of course it's lacking tone, right? Well, yeah, I can see that argument, but I guess my rebuttal would be, the only reason that I modded it was because I felt that it was sort of completely lacking tone. You know, chicken or the egg, catch-22 kind of situation, I suppose. But nevertheless, still something that has always bothered me about the game and continues to today. I kind of think we got a little off track. I'm not sure what I was really talking about anymore. So all I'm going to say about this is that I feel like we're going to... we're going to switch gears. The channel probably for the moment. I'm going to wait until a new update comes out, or, you know, if we build all this armor that I'm planning on building and find out, well, turns out you were wrong, and all you had to do is survive the exposure long enough to get down a layer to these new biomes. But I'm just not really seeing any evidence of content that is going to be worthy of Let's Play videos for now. We could explore the power system for a while, but you know, it's not really worth the effort, in my opinion, if all we're going to do is explore the power system and then kind of abandon the video anyway. I would rather wait until there's some content to really explore, utilize the power system as a tool to explore that content, and then expand from there. You know, if that's not a thing that's really viable right now, which it doesn't appear to be, then I don't really know that we need to explore that system at the moment. Now, you know, given that we're in beta, I'll definitely be revisiting things, and again, I've really enjoyed it. I hope that what you've seen has shown you sort of the general tone of this game in terms of the way it plays, how you craft. You know, there's been a little bit of how the power system works, and we're going to explore that a little bit further. But realistically, you know, there's just not enough here at the moment. In the current state for me to keep sort of exploring it more than, you know, maybe one, maybe two more videos. We're definitely going to do a Starbound Let's Play, and we'll definitely do a more full-featured, maybe next release Let's Play of this game. You know, we're gonna get a suit of armor. We're gonna try and see what's going down a little further below us if we can survive the exposure. And that's probably going to fill out this Let's Play of the current build. We may even rename this playthrough as something like Rebirth Beta. I think this is the Rebirth patch that we've been playing. I can't actually qualify that statement with any kind of accuracy, but that's what I think is going on. You know, it's interesting. This game has a lot of potential. The basic structure is all that I can really see present here. It's weird to me that it looks like we lost functionality from previous playthrough videos. I'm not sure why that happened, and I don't know if that's an accurate representation. I guess you know, again, it's possible that I missed something here, but from other YouTube videos I've seen, it looked like there was a lot of functionality in place that just isn't real anymore, and I wonder why that occurred. You know, what it is that they're trying to accomplish in the current build of the game that gets you to that point. You know, we're about to die again because apparently hermit crabs can fly. No, we didn't die. Look at that. Well, that was lucky. We can make a number of more torches. So, you know, it's so funny the way I talk about this game. So it sounds like I don't like it very much, I think. You know, maybe I'm being harsh on my own reading of things, but that's what it seems like to me. I actually really enjoy the game. I'm having quite a bit of fun. I don't want it to sound like there's displeasure on my part. You know, it's a beta. They're going to take away and add functionality and modify interactions and all that kind of stuff, and that's their prerogative. That's what they get to do. It's a beta. They're testing things. You know, but what I have to speak to as a Let's Player, right, is, well, is there value to show you? And the current build of things, there just isn't really a value to show. You know, you can watch me kill the same monsters over and over again. You can watch me mine for certain very specific ores over and over again. You can watch me build some armors, but you know, it's not really fun to show that to you, and it's not really fun to watch it. So, you know, we're gonna get away from that pretty quick here and try and explore some other games. I may do a Let's Play of Towns because, you know, again, I own that game already, and I think it has some promise as an indie game. I may do a Let's Play of Civ 5 because I've played the hell out of Civ 4, but 5 isn't really a game I've explored as much. I might do a Let's Play of XCOM. I mean, there's a lot of different options. So these are the doors. I think I showed them to you in the last video, but you know, they open and close, which is pretty smexy. So let's look at the armors we can make right now. So we've got head, back, legs, and droids. We've already made a chest head. Okay, so let's look at hex. What do we need? We need some inorganic aluminums. Well, we happen to have a substantial amount of aluminum, so let's go ahead and we're going to need a lot of that. Ooh, we're going to need a ton of titanium. Just so much more titanium than we actually have. So let's go ahead and do some titanium searching. Titanium is apparently substantially more rare than aluminum. I my experience has been that it's not, nevertheless not all that rare. It seems like most of the beginning resources, at least, are very, 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 very much available to you if you just sort of are aggressive about hunting them down. I guess that's actually, if I had a problem with this build of the beta, it just seems easy. There's not a lot to accomplish that I can see. There's no indication that there is new stuff to accomplish. And what there is to do is just sort of a matter of running around, grinding resources out, and dealing with annoying jellyfish. I did fight and kill a rocket beast earlier. Turns out the AI on those is actually pretty stupid. What I did is I got it into a situation where there was a corner above it. So if you think of a place, like if you look where the mouse is right now, like this, I got it stuck in that corner, and because it was stuck in a corner, it couldn't move, and because it couldn't move, I just stood sort of below it and behind a wall slightly and shot it, and eventually it died, and that was the full extent of the combat. There's clearly that's not indicative of all enemy fights, and you're going to run into situations where things are coming at you from different directions, and there's just all these sort of general problems that you're going to face. That said, it was a disappointment that, when I actually had an opportunity to react to one, it didn't have any new tricks to show me. It sort of fell prey to a very basic exploitative approach. Which, how do you assess that kind of a thing in a beta? I don't know. But I do know that it was nevertheless a disappointment. So I still don't actually know what those little things are. They look to me like I can't really tell. I can't make up my mind. Oh well, maybe we're gonna find something down here. There's some titanium, which we need, so we'll... Oh, look at that, a portal to something. So I may have talked all that shit just now in order to be proven wrong. And you know what? Nothing would make me happier than to stuff a foot in my mouth at this very instant. I think that would just be probably about the best thing that could happen right now. So we'll find out. And just a second here. Sorry, I had a pop-up up here. So it looks to me like that is something fun. That sure has some promise to be fun. Alright, well, something natural. That's an interesting thing. You know, guys, I am suddenly very excited. I am suddenly in a moment of awe and bliss. Yeah, let's see what we run into here. This looks like rock. I'm gonna go ahead and place some torches around the room. What have we got? Anything good? Well, screw it. Let's go. Oh, we interacted. Wormhole collapse in 2:30. Where are we? I don't know. Someplace with a lot of titanium, though, that's for sure. I have no idea where we are. Let's go exploring. I mean, I can find titanium any day. Oh, I love it when the little crabs show up. Oh, new monster type of some sort. Oh man, this is quite a place. So this must be some kind of race. I'm gonna die. I'm clearly not actually prepared to survive this place. But looks like a resource gathering race, or maybe something else. I don't really know. Well, okay. So we found a wormhole. All right. I guess maybe we have to, re-examine some of what we said. Funny that. We're gonna harvest all the titanium we can while we're here. We're clearly not really equipped to survive beyond a minute or two in this place otherwise. So I think we're just gonna try and collect as many resources as we can. It looks like basically what a wormhole provides us is rare resources, in abundance. That's a cool thing. I don't have any problem with that. The next time we enter a wormhole, I think we're going to try and enter it with the next tier of gun up. We should upgrade our dirt cheap because we're able to do that now. And I guess we're just going to harvest a lot of aluminum. It's a real pity I don't have the torches already made to really properly develop our exploration capabilities. We're going to try and collect some titanium here since there's so much of it and it's in such abundance. You know, I'm going to try and keep my eye out for... It would be nice if we could get to 60 titanium before this wormhole collapses. I don't know what that thing is, but we're going to run away from it because we're so close to death, and there's just so many resources here. It would be a real pity to die. So yeah, funny thing when you run into a new content type as you're complaining about. Oh, and we died. Well, let's go ahead and build ourselves some armor. I'm encouraged by that. It's a little sad to me that that's the first time I found a wormhole. But it's also promising in that maybe I can find more of those. Maybe we can start to find some regularity in them so that we can replicate the process. And if we can replicate the process, maybe we can start to really have some fun with wormholes. You know, we're far enough in that I'm a little worried that that might not be a thing that they do all that often. And if that's the case, you know, we're going to be sad. But if it's something that can be done semi-routinely, and which we can have lead us to some more interesting monster types, some more rare drops, I would be pretty inclined to do another round of Let's Plays after this. Raw organic, we need some biomass here for our armor. So we're going to go ahead and plop that out. Oh, lost the mouse there. Where is it? It's having a hard time. There we go. Science me up. Max health, plus 23. Another plus 9 to exposure. Some resistances. Alright, cool. And we're going to go ahead and put that on. There we go. It's weird that your health boosts, so... Oh, I'm missing my old rocket pack. That makes me quite sad. So I'd made a rocket pack in the last video. I don't know if you've noticed. It's gone. So we now have some pretty decent exposure rank. But again, it's not showing up in my character sheet, which worries me. Makes me think maybe it's not showing up in game. You know, like the game isn't really aware. That said, I have a fancy new armor. I don't think I need 10 more titanium before I can really start to explore the rest of the armors. But that's nevertheless a pretty promising sight. You know, I'm beginning to think maybe I was wrong in what I was saying, and I hope, you know, anybody that's listening. You know, it's early. I mean, we're clearly sort of ran across one cool thing after several hours of what I would say it was starting to become a little repetitive. But you know, maybe we're gonna start to understand things about this game that we just didn't understand before. Maybe it has some more content to it than what we were seeing. You know, in this version of it, and I want to stress, right, like my complaints are based around sort of looking at what existed in other places and being a little sad that that didn't still exist. You know, the power system in particular that existed in some of the other versions from what I've seen, really gets me excited, and to not have that to play with right now is a little sad. I should also stress I have literally zero idea what the release date and time schedule of this game is, so it could very well be that we're like in the super early beta. And because of the small team size, it seems likely that, you know, whatever they're trying to accomplish is probably going to be somewhat limited in relation to what you might expect from a larger studio. So that those things are all worth bearing in mind. I think what we're going to try and do is find some, well, there's some rhenium there, so we're going to go ahead and collect that. But I think we're going to hunt down 10 more titanium. We're going to build some leggings for this character, and then we'll probably call this video a night. You can, as always, sort of feel free to weigh in. I'd like to hear some feedback if anybody's actually paying attention, you know, and if you like the Let's Plays, you know, let me know. And if so, you know, what you think I should do a Let's Play of next. I'm thinking XCOM, I'm thinking maybe I'll do a Terraria Let's Play. Not that Terraria obviously hasn't been done to death in the Let's Play arena, but that doesn't mean we can't have some fun with one, we can't do some things. You know, I've had a good time with Terraria. I'd be willing to give it another round of gaming. I've also thought about doing a Dwarf Fortress Let's Play. I'm very, very, very familiar with that game, and to the point that I could actually provide probably more of a tutorial. You know, I don't know if there is an up-to-date quote-unquote tutorial. The Captain Duck tutorials are the ones I learned on. I think that's still what people point to, and while it's correct for the vast majority of relevant topics, there are a few things that are out of date, like the military system that he represents just isn't really what exists anymore. Danger rooms are another thing that I can provide a lot of ability to replicate. So, you know, there's some conversation there to be had. So I might do that. I think I already mentioned towns. I'm just sort of banding around ideas right now, and I'm interested in hearing, you know, anybody that's finding any pleasure from these. You know, let me know what it is that you're thinking. I think it looks to me like we've got plenty of aluminum. There's just so damn much of it, you know. It's almost as prevalent as rocks, as far as I can tell. I seem to almost, and uranium too, really, is pretty common. Titanium seems like it's a little harder to find. I don't know if... Ooh, there's a generator that I apparently placed ages ago. That's kind of funny. We can go ahead and, I think, take that down. So I'm pretty sure in the second video I lost a generator, and that would be the one. So let's go ahead and make some more torches. Maybe we can use them to lead us to another wormhole, and if so, we should look at, I think it's called a particle accelerator, to see what upgrading our weaponry might look like. Science me up. What does that give us? That gives us 14 torches. Thank you. Let's look at our weaponry, rifles. We don't care about mining. Particle accelerators need a bunch of dirt and a bunch of aluminum, which we happen to have tons of. Uranium, we have plenty of that. We have plenty of metals, and we have plenty of... we don't have quite enough goo. Matter accelerator. Okay. Well, we've definitely got the equipment to do this. So let's go ahead and make a particle accelerator and compare that. Size does not matter when it's moving this fast. That, well, I'm assuming at particle accelerator speed, you're talking fairly close to the speed of light. Alright, you know. Explosives and thermals. I don't have actual rounds. Alright, so let's do a quick combat test here. One of these should hopefully one-shot things that were taking multiple shots. Ooh, that's a lot faster, too. Oh, yep. Particle accelerator, greater than dirt cheap. I guess that's a good thing. Man, that's actually quite a gun. Alright, well, I'm convinced Particle Accelerator was a worthy investment of our stuff. We're gonna let our batteries charge up here for a second. So, I think the next thing we wanted to do was a helix legs. We need armor. Oh, we need titanium. Alright, let's continue along our quest for titanium. We are sort of... So, it looks like... It's hard for me to understand this. So, it looks like, based off of where I found that gate, that wormhole, that they want us to be mining sort of downwards into things. But it also looks sort of simultaneously like it's very hard to tell what actually mining into stuff means. It's hard to know when you're mining into something versus when you're just sort of mining through a big empty hole. That is just a floating island that is going to sort of become irrelevant once you get far enough in. This looks to me like it's a place that's worth mining into, so we'll find out. But again, you know, there's no really... Oh, I'm exposed. The other thing that is not apparent to me, based off of that, is when exposure starts, why it starts. I have no idea. There's no in-game explanation of that aspect. You know, so there's just some interesting questions, I guess, that arise with that. You know, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm exploring. I'm trying to figure that out. And I'm, again, you know, purposely not reading documentation to that effect, which, you know, maybe makes some of my complaints less relevant to those of you that are listening. But I think, you know, you want some method by which to sort of have that discovery occur. And it seems like it's not happening. Oh, let's use our fancy new particle accelerator. So that's a much better weapon. I think we're going to be able to wipe the floor with this guy pretty quick. Yeah, he's barely going to stand it and be an issue. Yep, gone. Ooh, and he off... Ooh, that lets us build something. What was it that let us build? I think... I can't recall. Was that titanium? Was that the new jetpack? There was something. Yep, that's the new... We need 30 chip P1s. Alright, well, we're not quite there. Raw mineral metal chip P1. Yeah. We need a whole lot of extras of those. Maybe we'll get lucky and find 29 more. So far, that's not a promising prospect. But who knows? You know, maybe we get lucky. I'm sure there's a way to craft those. I haven't found any schematics. They apparently exist, but you know, not seen them, so can't validate that fact. Something I'm sort of learning how to do is not move while doing the digging. You can use the range on your your pick. Why they call it a pick, I'm not entirely sure. Seems sort of silly. But, you know, whatever. Such is the way of things. I guess they call it a pick because it, you know, picks through the terrain here, but, you know, I don't know. I'm unconvinced that that's entirely correct. It doesn't really seem like a pick. It seems like a laser beam that destroys things. But minor gripe. Not even a gripe, really, just sort of a context question. How to survive that exposure is an ongoing sort of game issue that I'm hoping to be able to provide some answers to in the next video or so. I think that what we really need to do is just generate some armor for ourselves so that we get that exposure resistance up, and then hopefully once that exposure resistance is increased to the point that we are functional, we can explore a little further down. This build really looks like down is the way to go, which, you know, doesn't really help, doesn't make me think this is a space game, right? So when I think of a space game, I think, oh, well, you go, you know, space is up, right? That's an incorrect statement in the sense that space is in a lot of directions, but well, in basically all directions once you get sort of far enough from the center of the Earth, or from Earth. But oh, all right. So there's a cave. Maybe we'll get lucky and there's something up in there. Let's find out. How many more torches do we have? We've got 6 more torches. Oh, there's some titanium too. Goody. So we'll dig up that titanium. Hopefully there'll be 10 there. We're going to cross our fingers anyway. Try and get our leggings built. And once we get those built, I'm going to sign us out for this video. And we'll move on. Let's get a torch down. Oh yeah, there should be plenty of titanium here. So, no. That sound effect, you know, it just makes me never use that tool. It's such a miserable sound. I'm actually curious how it happened, you know, like what day did they all sit down and hear that and think, oh, this is great. You know, it's just it's interesting to me, and I'm curious about that. We're gonna mine out all this titanium. Titanium is a touch rarer than some of the other things. I actually posted on the forums earlier in response to somebody saying that titanium was relatively abundant, and you know, it's a little harder to find than I actually had thought it was. Let's go ahead and make these legs. R for inventory, yeah. Alright, so we've got legs armor, and we need inorganic titanium, so we're going to go to 2 for refining. We're going to refine 30 titanium. That is titanium, in fact, right? Aluminum, I mean. Yes, we need 25 aluminum. Alright. And then we need 25 titanium. Alright, so we got our 25 titanium. Oh, we need to pull that out and put it in there. And then we've got our 25 titanium, so we'll go ahead and do that. Come on. Alright. And then we need some raw organic, so we're just going to use dirt again. Because oh, raw organic. There we are. Biomass. And science us up. Max health, more exposure, some boost to speed, explosive resistance. Alright. So we're starting to look like a character that has some stuff going for him. Not C, we wanted C. Alright, look at that. Alright, so Birdoggydog is now decked out in some armor. It looks like we can still give him a new jetpack, so let's see what that's going to take. And a helmet. 15 aluminum, 15 titanium, 15 whatevers. What have we got? We've got the aluminum. We're a little short on the titanium. There isn't a really easy way to be able to harvest that titanium that's there, because this gun can't just do that. Yeah. So the answer to that problem is, I guess, to head out. And see what we can find up top. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid... man, the weak jellies become super weak then. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the dirt cheap. We just don't even need it anymore. And hope, I guess, that they start sending more interesting enemies our way. I don't know what to do about that. I mean, if I can't survive the exposure and I can't get to the new enemies, what are we going to do? So let's get some torches. We need 17 torches. That lets us use up all of our goop and then our dirt. And then we craft some science. It worked in the name of community mod. Torches. Let's go ahead and get those down. So, okay. Let's... I guess we'll go back down below. I mean, I've got the torches to do it, and we've already explored further down that way. And we can even get an extra torch out of that guy. So let's go down here a little bit further and see if we find anything good. Oh yeah, we were gonna look up there, so let's do that. And then hopefully by that point something will kill us or we can return home. And that'll be a good sort of end point for things. Let's get up there and let's get some torches down. Ah! Ooh, a chest. Look at that. Okay. We're just finding all kinds of stuff this playthrough that we hadn't seen before. Talk about an eventful evening. Okay. So let's go have ourselves a look at what's going on in this, and that'll be an exciting moment for us. Look, there was even a... Wow, how was... interesting. Even an easy way in. Right, and that had utter crap in it. So the first chest I found 2 hours in, maybe even 3, and I find a useless piece of crap. Alright, but I did get a chest out of the deal. I guess that is somewhat valuable. I can start to store things in it. I can't lie, though. I'm a little depressed by that. It would have been nice to have something more interesting in there. You know, maybe we'll find other chests as time wears on. And maybe this island that we're in is actually something a little more interesting. You know, it looks like maybe we can start to explore deeper here. I wish there was a way to mark this on a map. You know, it's hard for me to really come back here right now because I kind of have to get lucky and wander into this area. I don't have a good concept of where it is. I can of course watch back on the Let's Play and return to it. Alright, well, I guess with that, you know, we found a couple of cool things here. We've had some interactions, we've killed something, we found a wormhole. So I think that's a good spot to stop this video. So this is Birdoggydog signing out. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you later.